If you thought making money and getting sales with Amazon KDP would be easy and fast, but you're not really seeing the results you had hoped for or the ones that you were promised, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you the real reasons most books don't sell and the biggest mistakes new authors make that hold them back. Then I'll walk you through how to fix them by analyzing real book listings from our community step by step. Alright, so let's get right into this video. And just quickly, in case you're new to the channel, Cleo and I have sold over 240,000 books between our different KDP accounts. And we have a free Facebook group with over 230,000 authors in it that you can also join. And with our self-publishing Titans tools, we've helped over 300,000 authors publish their books on Amazon. So if you are new, make sure to subscribe. Alright, so looking at the first book, we can see that they are getting some sales. They also have really good reviews, so they are already doing a really great job. Let's just see any missed opportunities that we can see to help them boost their sales even more. So let's start by looking at their title. So it says the first time Barnuminium's Builder's Guides all in one. A simple step-by-step money-saving plan to design and build your dream house in just 90 days. So that sounds really, really cool. Great idea, and the title is good. I have no complaints here or major suggestions. One thing we can do is just open our Titans AI title analyzer. And here we can also see that the overall book listing has a score of 71. So it's already really, really good. Obviously, the closer to 100, the better, but 70 is excellent. In case you're not familiar with this extension, this is part of this Chrome extension right here. It's one that we released a few weeks ago, and it's basically our brand new one. It's combining these two extensions and all of our new features. So here under opportunity, it says the title and subtitle are quite long and somewhat cluttered, which can reduce readability and impact Amazon's platform. Simplifying and condensing the title while maintaining key terms could improve memorability and make it stand out more effectively in search results. And then one example title we have here is the first time Barnuminium Builder's Guide, a simple step-by-step plan to design and build your dream house in 90 days. So interesting idea, slightly shorter, a little bit more to the point, but obviously your title is fine how it is. This is just for maybe the next book in this series, just to keep that in mind. Let's look at your cover here. So I like that we have a nice image of the house. I like that we have interior images. I like that we have the plans here. So that's all really good. And then we have 90 days proven framework. So that's also really good. And I like that we have the main text in really big. The only thing I think could be slightly improved here is this text is really, really small, and same with this text. So let's also look at our suggestion here from our Titans AI Chrome extension. So in the improvement, it says the title and subtitle areas are quite busy with dense amount of text, which can reduce readability, especially as a thumbnail. So this is really important. So here we have kind of like a thumbnail view, and this is what you would see in the search results or what people would see on the Amazon app when they're browsing for books. And this text is easy to read. This one we can kind of potentially make out, but then the text right here is way too small, and same with this text right here. So what I would recommend is having less words here and maybe even getting rid of that and just having all-in-one in the center. Just so we don't have as much text and also don't have small text that one can't really read. Reading along here, it says simplifying or spacing out the text to avoid visual clutter would enhance clarity. So I agree with that. And then under opportunity, it says leveraging a more focused, clean layout with a stronger central visual element could elevate the cover's appeal, highlighting a compelling image of a modern barndominium and using a minimalistic design approach may better convey professionalism and attract readers specifically interested in this niche build guide. So that's also fine. My main recommendations is just here having less text. So I would just probably say 50 interior renderings included. So it's just one word per line and it'll be much larger. And then getting rid of all of this text at the bottom and then maybe centralizing the all-in-one. But overall, I think your cover is great. I think it's professionally done. So these are just smaller remarks and potential slight improvements. I like here that we have the Kindle version with the Kindle Unlimited. We also have hardcover and paperback, which is really, really important because the more book types you have, the more listings you can rank for on Amazon. And what a lot of people don't know is that each of these can actually rank on Amazon individually. And then obviously we also have the Kindle store for the Kindle e-readers. So you can also rank on that device by itself. So let's look at your description here. So it looks like we have a long description. All right, so when looking at the description, to me, without even reading it, just having all these icons, it looks like it was written by AI. So let's just quickly check. Okay, so here it says we are highly confident this text was AI generated, so 98% AI generated. The only reason I checked that is because when people think that the description is written by AI, it can also hurt your conversion rates, because here they're looking for a really high quality book, which it looks like this really is. But then looking at all of these icons, it just screams AI written, and it might also read like it's from AI, and then that's just not good. So using AI for book descriptions, I think that's totally fine. But then I always recommend that you re-edit the description from AI, and you only use that as inspiration, but make it as natural and human sounding as possible. And then also getting rid of all of these icons, because these icons are the biggest tell that something is written by AI, because AI uses those icons a lot. So I would change that. And then the only other thing I would improve here is that before you click read more, to have 5 bullet points. And I would put the bullet points right below this part right here. And just think of the 5 most important things about this book. So whatever those things are, make them into 5 bullet points, and then make sure they are seen before the read more button, and then that will definitely help you with your conversions. So looking at your A+ content, great job for having A+ content. This is really, really good. The first thing that stands out to me is that you have a very clean design, so that's good. But the other thing is that it's a little bit too much text almost. Since this is a book that has a lot of images and drawings in it, I would really show some of those images and drawings in your A+ content, just to get a potential buyer even more certain and even more excited about your book. So I think that would also do you really, really well. I do like the images that you are showing here. I like that you have a 3D rendering of your book. So just the main thing is just showing more of your book interior, some plans, maybe in large size, so you can really see what kind of details are in these plans. But otherwise, I think this is good. Let's look at your categories. Those are also really important for your SEO. So here we can see home design and house plans. So that sounds good. House plans, home design, building and construction. So I think you chose good categories. So well done on that. And here you posted an image, which is great. And then a really nice long description. So overall, you're doing all the right things. These are just minor critiques that I told you. So I hope that this helps you, and I wish you best of luck with your books and your future with Amazon KDP. And let's check the next book. All right, so here we have a book. It has gotten some sales, but not a lot, and currently not really much traction, at least with the Kindle book. So let's look at the title here. So American Eagle, Chinese Dragon, and then the subtitle, All You Need to Know How to Manage Chinese Foreign Relations and Diplomacy with the US and EU Without a Color Revolution, Political Economy, Diplomacy, and Strategy. So that sounds fine and really niche, which might be one of the reasons we're not getting a lot of sales. But overall, the title sounded fairly clean. The only critique would be, it seems like that's either you put 3 dots or KDP is cutting it off because the title is too long. So that should never be. So the title should always be short enough to fit in what Amazon shows you on the product page. And then obviously, because this is such a niche book, we need to make sure that we have really good long tail keywords for someone that is actually searching for this on Amazon. And if this is too niche for people not really searching for this on Amazon, then you obviously would have to do a lot of ads with books that might be related to your books or politics or diplomacy, and just try to find readers that are interested in this kind of niche and topic. So the way you can do that is by running category ads and specific product ads, targeting books that you think might convert when someone sees your book on their product page. But it would also see if there's any search suggestions just in a search by typing in different keywords that might be good, and then putting those in your 7 backend keywords. Let's look at your cover here. So American Eagle, Chinese Dragon, your guide to the New World Order, Dr. Eric Engel. So the author name is a little bit oddly placed. Usually it's more at the bottom. So I would see if you can make that work instead of here. It's also really, really small, so hard to read. So like if it's right here, like you didn't even notice that there was a text there. And then my only other critique here is that it seems like we don't have this formatted properly. So the E looks like is slightly ahead of the W. The W and the D look like they're aligned, but then the R doesn't seem to be aligned as well. So there's a slight thing to fix here. And then the red Chinese character here is really, really small. So if you're looking at this at a thumbnail size, you can't really see what this is. So if this is an important character, I would make that larger. But otherwise, I like the elements chosen here. I like the design on the bottom. I like the sun. So overall, it's a nice cover. These are just small improvements that could be made. And the other thing I like is that you have an audiobook as well, which is really, really cool. For high content books, this can be a great way to get extra sales and then obviously also more reviews. So well done on having that. Paperback is $49. I guess that's expensive because we have so many pages, so that's quite interesting. Let's look at your description. So here the keywords I would definitely take out. That is absolutely not needed and just looks spammy. So that would be a big no-no for me. I like that you have the tables of contents here. That's an interesting idea. Usually don't see that, but I don't think that's a bad thing. So that's quite cool actually. And then here we have some bullet points, but they don't look like the normal bullet points. So I would fix that. And then also we don't see all the bullet points. So what I would do is turn them into real bullet points and put them just below this line right here. And then I think that'll be much better. And then you definitely want to get rid of that. These keywords are not used by Amazon for your rankings. So it just really looks spammy and does not make anyone want to buy your book. And if this is how you did your 7 backend keywords, then definitely rethink your strategy. Look for long tail keywords. So search for on Amazon. You can use our Titans Chrome extension for that. And I think you'll have a much better time with that. If you install our Chrome extension, there's also a video on how to use that. So I would check that out. And then that's how you can find the best keywords for your 7 backend keywords. Moving right along, here we don't see any A+ content, which is unfortunate. So I would definitely fix that. And this was published in 2024. So if you did have A+ content, it would definitely show. So make sure to fix that. And you can have some lifestyle images there. You can show some quotes of the book or some interesting parts of it. Just get creative with it and just think about what a potential buyer might want to see. Looking at the categories, history of China, communism and socialism, international relations. So that sounds fine. Seems like you did a good job on that. And then you also have good ratings and good reviews. So excellent job. Looking at your author image, it says Quizmaster. So that doesn't really seem to align with this brand. And then the other thing is using the Amazon logo, which is a big no-no. So I highly encourage you to get rid of that since you have no rights of using that, especially since this is not an Amazon book or about Amazon and it's just kind of random. And then here it says all on Kindle Unlimited satisfaction guaranteed. That also sounds random, because you can't really guarantee satisfaction. Not everybody might like your book. And then here it says, if you're not delighted with your purchase, contact the author. How does someone contact you? That's also a bit odd. With Amazon purchases, you don't usually contact the person, especially not with books. Free exclusive bonus content. And then here you have your email address. I'm also not a big fan of that. It just feels like we're trying to get around the Amazon terms and conditions and kind of get as much out of that as possible. So I would get rid of that too. Just keep it a little bit more clean and to the point. But other than that, I think this is fine. I hope that is helpful for you and everybody else watching. And let's check another one. So here we have a Halloween book. So that's nice to see. Those are always fun to look at. And good timing. So currently not really many sales happening, but this was also only published not long ago. So the title says Pumpkins, Ghosts, and Giggles. 52 cute Halloween coloring pages with silly jokes for kids ages 4 to 8. The title sounds fine. I would have probably put Halloween coloring book instead of coloring pages. Most likely that would be a better keyword, but you can double check that with the Titans Chrome extension. Just by typing it in here, then you can see the demand and opportunity scores and the estimated search volume. And then the title is fine, but for these kinds of seasonal books, I would probably just say that this is a Halloween coloring book as the title, and then create a different subtitle around that. That's just even more straight to the point. The age group you chose is really good, so I'm a fan of that. I know 4 to 8 is a good keyword that is often searched for coloring books, activity books, and puzzle books. So that's really good. The silly jokes is okay, but I would have probably focused more just directly on the coloring book itself, just so we're not like targeting two niches, even if you do have jokes in there. But that would be just my own personal preference. Looking at the cover, I think the colors are really nice. The design is really nice. This is really popping. So great job on that. But the text here, Pumpkins, Ghosts, and Giggles. See, that's where like if you read that, you don't instantly know that this is a coloring book. So that's kind of like a big missed opportunity / mistake. And then here you say, fun Halloween joke and coloring book for kids. So coloring book should have been what is like the biggest text right at the top or in the center, whatever, just to make that the most obvious text, because that is your most important keyword. So when someone looks at that, especially in a small thumbnail size, the black text here is not as easy to see, and you don't really see that this is a coloring book. So I think that's probably one of the reasons we're not getting many sales. And then the jokes, I feel like it's a nice bonus or a nice touch that's added for the book, but that's something that shouldn't be promoted in your title or subtitle because it kind of mixes messages. And if someone is looking for jokes, then they'll also not purchase. But then if they were to buy just this as a coloring book and they see jokes in there, now it's just a bonus and they either like it or not. I think that's also one of the main reasons we're not really getting many conversions here. And just to drive this point home, let's just look at the top coloring books. Okay, so obviously we know Coco Wayo, I'm sure you're familiar with that. But here we also have stress relief, which is a keyword, and it's straight to coloring book for adults. So that it's just straight to the point. You can easily see what the book is about. And then if you look at the text here on the cover, we can see that Bold and Easy Coloring Book is also in large text right below stress relief. So you can instantly see that this is a coloring book. That's kind of what I'm talking about. But good job on having your first reviews and a good rating, which is great. So let's look at your A+ content. So here we can see that the brand image is at the top, which is fine. But also since you're not the biggest brand yet, potentially not necessary. And this could have been just the first one and somehow incorporated your brand name into another A+ content image. That could be a slight improvement because here they don't really gain much value out of it. This is just more for branding, but then here's where you have the most value. So here we can see your nice cover, we can see the nice interior, we can see an awesome lifestyle image. So that's really what the buyer wants to see and not this. So this is what's going to help you get sales and this won't help you get sales. I hope that makes sense. But these two, I like the colors. Everything is really excellent done on this one. Here, I'm also a big fan of that. I like how we have more images on display showing what you can color in, and you made it a little bit more fun and exciting with these other images and then some additional text. So I think this is all really, really good. And then you have some additional text here and some comparing books. So overall, you're doing great on the A+ content. Let's look at your categories. So jokes and riddles. So that I'm not the biggest fan of. Personally, when this is a coloring book, I think it should only be coloring book niches because Amazon also uses your categories for SEO and rankings and understanding what your book is about. And if you tell Amazon this is a jokes book, but then at the same time that this is a coloring book, that can kind of already send mixed messages for Amazon. So I'd probably go ahead and change that. But here we have Halloween's books, so that's good. And then children's coloring book. I'll just find one other niche that's more related to coloring books. And then here we can see your brand image. Obviously, this is cut off, so I would redo that so the entire image is in the frame. Right now we can see the border is cut off and the book is cut off, so it just looks like it doesn't quite fit. But you do have a short description, which is great. And then we have some reviews. So the biggest thing I think is your title and your cover, and probably also your 7 backend keywords. And you do have bullet points, which is great, but I would make sure to put them right below this paragraph so a potential buyer can see it, because right now you have to click on read more. So that's also just a big missed opportunity. For your next Halloween books or any other seasonal books, just keep all of these tips in mind. Applying them to all of the future books like that will also definitely help you. So I hope that these were helpful. If you want more daily videos like this, make sure to subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, please leave a comment down below and a like. And then I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.